Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this. It's two projects in one. It's the wine bottle sleeve and also the poinsettia. I know there are already videos on YouTube showing you how to make these, but I'm going to show you the JanB way of doing it. Okay, so excuse me while I just zoom you back in again. I had to zoom out just to get the whole of this bottle in. Hold on, bear with me if I can find the switch here. Yep, nearly there. Be glad when my remote control is set up. There we go, that's fine. Okay, so the card pieces that you're going to need is a piece that measures 10.5 by 10 7/8, one piece that's 4 1/4 by 4.5 by 2 1/4, and one that's about 3 by 3. Now the paper I'm using here is my favourite Irresistibly Yours, which was available in Celebration. I keep on using. It's not available anymore, but what we do have in the catalogue now is something that is called Colour Me Irresistible Specialty Designer Series paper. Basically it's the same, it's just that with this you get 12 sheets, 6 different designs, one that's white and one that's coloured. So the 5 colours are the in colours and the other one is black. But you could still treat the white sheets exactly the same as you can with this. I've nearly finished using all of mine, so I will be able to order some of that once this is gone. Right, because I'm doing two projects in one, I've got to get a move on and not yak too much. So let's get a move on. Now with your piece of cardstock, that's, you want the 10.5 inch side onto your scoreboard. Okay, so this is 10.5 across here, and you're going to score it at 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 4 7/8, 6 1/2, 8 1/8, and 9 3/4. Turn it 90 degrees and score at 1 3/8. Now score it at, turn it 180 degrees and score down this side at 1 3/8. Now the sleeve that I'm doing will do the standard size bottles like this. Okay, so it's the, I don't know what shape you call these really, but not fancy. The other standard shape bottle is one like this, so it's more shaped, more of a delicate shape. This won't fit. I think I know how to do the calculations for that size, and once I've worked it out I will put it on my blog. I'll also put a note on here once I've sussed it out as well. Right, now you're going to need your gift bag punch board, and I'm going to stand up for this because I don't have the strength to punch this if I'm sitting down. So what we need to do is on all of these score lines up here we need to punch. We also need to do the outside line of the big square, not the little one here, but just this big one. Okay, so first of all, if you line the edge up on that line there, and then punch, and then move it along so your pointer is pointing down your first score line, and the next one, and just keep on going all the way along, and then turn it around and do the opposite side. Okay. Now just do the thin line here, but I'm not going to do the edge. fact, I'm going to turn this around, bring this end a bit closer to me. Right, so I need to do that edge, don't I? Let's turn it over. So I'm lining up my edge there against my line, making sure that this is right up the top. There we go, making sure it's right up the top here. So that's lining up against the line there. Lining up the score mark, next score line. I'm almost kissing the camcorder here every time I lean forward. Right, line that up with the score line. That one, and then the last one. There we go. Right, I'm going to sit down again now. Clear my rubbish out of the way. Oops, dropped most of that on the floor. Never mind. Right, okay, so now we're going to fold and burnish our folds. Making this part is quite the quick bit of the job. It's really quite easy, quite straightforward. This is a lovely cardstock to work with when you need something that's a little bit on the strong side. I think it's a lot thicker than our normal cardstock. I don't know, but I certainly feel that it's a lot stronger. Let's just fold all these over. In fact, no need to worry about the last two because we're going to cut those off anyway. Scissors. Okay, I'm going to use these ones. Can't find my other ones. Yes, I can. And then we're just going to cut that off like that. And do that one this end. That's it. Now, get the ribbon through the top, we need to punch some holes. And you know me, I can't do a straight line. So what I do is I line all these tops with one of my lines on my grid paper, and then my ruler, I come down 2 squares, so that's what, 1/2 inch. Now 1/2 inch that side. Amazing, lovely straight line. Right, now I'm going to take a 1/4 inch handheld punch. This isn't the Stampin' Up one, we do one, but I didn't buy one because I've already got this. And then you just go along and punch 2 holes in each of these. Unless you've got a directional pattern on your paper, it doesn't matter which end you do. You know, if you've got writing on it, for example, then obviously you need to make sure your writing is up the right way. And also, depending on what kind of ribbon you're using, for example, if you're using our lacy trim, you wouldn't need a hole as big as this. I'm using a ribbon that a trim that's, I think, 3/4 of an inch, and it's quite a thick one. It is a retired one, but we do have something similar available in the current catalogue. Just rub out your pencil lines, being very careful that you don't pucker up, can't think of another, it's not really pucker up, bend your tabs. Okay, so there's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some red sticky strip down this little narrow tab, and I'm putting it on the outside. I've only got quite narrow sticky strip here. If you've got something wider, that would be better, but I'm going to put 2 strips on here. Just run your finger down, it does make it easier to get the red covering off. I can see mine's gone off the edge slightly there, so I'm going to snip that off. Pop that onto a ink pad for the time being. Right, so next I'm going to take these bits off and close the sleeve up. If you find that you do have any gluey bits sticking over, just curl them back on here. Now to close this up, it should work very nicely, in as much as it should just come over like this. Okay, so that's nice and quick. Now the next thing we need to do is to glue the bottom together. We need our bottle of wine, and if you just slide your wine in like this. Now the back of the sleeve is going to be where you've got the where you've just stuck the side down, so put that towards the back, and then it's either of these is going to be your front one. So whichever one's going to be your front one, fold this bottom flat back, and then we're going to use glue dots to hold these together. And the first one, I'm going to put 2 glue dots on the inside. Okay, so there's one there. One there. And then with these others, I'm going to put 1 glue dot on the outside of the right hand corner. Not literally right in the corner, but close enough. So that's going to finish up 5 tabs that you've put glue dots on. Okay, can you see that, what I've done? Yes. Okay, so it's 2 on the, 1 on the outside of 4 of them, and 2 on the inside of that one. So starting with the first, let's see, yes, the first one that's got 1 on it, next to the one that's got 2. Alright, so that's got 2, that's got 1. So put that in, and that one, and then that one, that one, that one, that one. Stand your bottle up and make sure it's pressing down on there. Because you'll have a bubble at the bottom of your bottle, it's not very easy to get that stuck down solidly. But if you take your 2.5 inch punch and your piece of paper that's 3 by 3, punch a hole, and then with your Tombow put glue on the back of your circle. And that just finishes the base of your bottle off nicely. Okay, so sorry I went off screen there, but just had to see what I was doing. Okay, so there we go. Yes, you can see that. Not stuck down too well there, but I'm going to stand it on its bottom, on the base, and that will get it stuck really nicely. There we go, that's better. So the only thing left to do now is my ribbon. And with all the others that I've done so far, I have left the ribbons long. Part of me is saying, whoever gets this, they may want to use it again for somebody. Sorry, talking too much. When you start putting your ribbon through, push it out from the inside towards you on the hole from the left hand side, and then pull it down and leave it so that, how much can you see here? There we go. So on the first one, push your ribbon so it comes through on the one that's on your left hand side, and leave it so that it's down like that. I've used about 24 inches here, and that will leave a long strand for a bow. You could probably get away with smaller, but as I say, I just think that if the recipient of this wants to reuse it, they need quite a long piece to redo the bow. Okay, and then just thread all this through. If you've done your hole big enough, it'll be easy enough to get it through there. And I also find it easy if you've got pointed ends here as well, like that. I'm sorry if I keep disappearing off the screen, but it's quite a big project to be working with. Well, certainly the biggest I've ever done. And I think it would have been a good idea had I put the collar on this before I go too much further as well. So you're just doing in one, out the other. Right, before I tighten that all up, with this piece that you have that's 2 1/4 by 4 1/2, if you take a nice big ruler and just right side up, with the pattern facing you, just curl it a bit to make it easier to go around your bottleneck. So it's like a traffic jam bottleneck. Neck of your bottle. Okay, like that. And then to glue it, what I do is I put some red sticky strips on the inside both ends. Coming to the end of the roll, it's getting a bit more difficult to pull it off. Okay, run your finger along. Take one side off. And then with this, let's see how easy it is to show you. I'm going to pop that in here, and I'm going to stick it just underneath the base of the screw cap. Okay, that's where the screw cap is going to break, and I'm just coming down a little bit further, and I'm going to pop that on like that. Make sure that side's stuck down, and then normally I would stand it up and then bring this one around once I've got it that far. I'm sorry if this looks really awkward. It certainly feels it. But we'll manage. Right, come on, off you come. Can you hear the wine slurping about there? Glug, glug, glug. Right, okay, now, oops. Now I'm going to pull this and I'm trying to get the top bit here to line up, but it will mean that this bit will go slightly at an angle, because as it's going down it's starting to press out. Now what you need to do is turn your bottle round so that comes round to the same place as that, so you've got all your seams at the back. Right, now let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to start pulling my ribbon in. In fact, let's lay this down again so you can see. As I pull my ribbon here, this is the front one, and I'm going to tuck that one underneath. And then as I go round, I'm going to pull this, and I'm making sure that that is going underneath this one. Now the one I have here is the back, so that can stay on top. Again, it can stay on top this side. Obviously be careful when you're doing this, because if you pull too hard it will split the holes. Now this one I'm having it overlapping on the back. Okay, and then this one I'm going to have overlapping like that. And let me just pop this one in. There we go. I'm going to stand this up. I'm not going to waste too much time trying to tie this in a bow, because I know this is going to be a long video. But you get the idea. There we go. If I'm lucky, it will work first time. Actually, it's not bad. Considering this is quite thick, it's quite easy to tie. Right, I'm not going to agonise with that anymore. I think that's quite decent. But I will just cut my little fishtails. That one I've actually, oh dear, I've spoilt that quite high. So let's just cut that off. And this one, oh that's alright, it brings them both to the same length now. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so that's what I've done. I've cut the two fishtails there. Alright, almost the same length. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And to make the flower, you need all these pieces, and I've done it all beforehand so that I can save time. But I will do one of each just to show you what I've done. I'll get scrap paper, and really and truly you can use scraps for doing this. You need the Festive Flower Punch, and you'll see that there are two size leaves here. So what you need for the yellow, you need that little star thing there, and you need 3 of those. That's 3 there. So just any bit of paper like that. So that's that. And can't get rid of you yet. Now this piece in the middle here, any thin strap will do. Okay, so there's that piece, and then you need 2 of these. Okay, 2 of those. For the small red leaves you need 4 of them. That's these. For the big leaves you need 8. And for the green you need, well, I like to use 5 on this. These are large leaves as well, aren't they? The reason I don't stamp these first is some advice I heard from a friend of mine called Caroline Hallett, and she said she found that she was wasting a lot less paper, cardstock, if she stamped afterwards. And because these are photopolymer stamps, they are so easy to do like that. The stamp set is called Reason for the Season, and I'm using these 3 spiky ones here. Okay. Oops, I hit the deck, never mind. Right, so with these there are two. There's one with short veins and one with long veins. So the long veins ones I use for the leaves, and the short veins I use for the petals. And I use the petals for both the sizes, the big and the small. Okay, so there's the small one, the big one. For the green, this is Old Olive, but the ink I'm using is Pear Pizzazz because I wanted something not quite as definite as the other one. And then for the two, no, let's try red. That goes across there. Okay, now they do need to be folded, and I prefer to do my folds using my scoring board because I do find that you get a much better crease if you just fold it in half, which you can do, but the lines don't look quite so nice. So what I do is I use the smaller end of my scoring tool. I push that into number 5. I bring this down on number 5. Make sure that point is on number 5 as well, and therefore I know that's going to be in a straight line. Also with these leaves there is a more rounded end and a pointed end. I always make sure the pointed ends are the tops of my petals. You can do it the other way around, and just need to be consistent, that's all. There's that. Whoops, I missed that, didn't I? That one. Number 5 into the gap there. When you do this, you will find that your scoring tool won't go down the seam properly, but that's okay as long as it is scored. Oops. Okay, when you fold these in half, you will find that they won't fold in half properly. You see that? But it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's how you do all of those. And then what I did with the yellow, all I did with that was, as I do with my little flowers, just put that in the palm of my hand, press, and that will curl up nicely. Okay, so that's how I do it all, but I do have it all ready here. And I'm going to fix all of this with my glue gun, which I should have switched on a few moments ago, but never mind, it will catch up, I'm sure. And the other thing that I need, oh that's right, the circle, that's to put all of these on too, and I used my 1-inch circle punch. Right, okay, while I'm waiting for that, because it's going to take a couple of minutes, these ones I tend to use my wet glue, so I can at least be doing that bit. Right, and then what I do with these, I just, because I've used 3, I'll do them slightly off like that, so that I've still got a gap in the middle there to put the third one. There we go. So that's ready. Let's see if my glue gun is ready to go now. Yes. Okay, so first of all my circle. So first of all I put a blob and my circle there, and I take 4 of the large leaves, and I'm going to do these at north, south, east and west, making sure that I put them in the right direction. Glue isn't quite ready, but let's see if we can encourage it to work a bit harder. Okay, so the next 4 I'm going to put in between the 4 that are already there. And the more dimension you can keep in these, the better. Okay, so that's that. And then on top of that, I will put my 4 small petals. As you can see, these glue guns don't take that long to heat up. Doing the poinsettia like this, I certainly wouldn't want to be putting this onto a greeting card. There is just so much dimension on it. You'd need to make a box for it. Which is okay if you're making a card for somebody really special. Of course, it's not too much trouble at all. Now with these, all I'm going to do is fold these like that. Okay, just fold them. And then you get a nice bit of dimension with those. Put one on first. I'll pick all these hairy bits off the glue bits once I've finished all of this. Okay, so oops. So if you ignore all the hair that's attached, you see how beautiful that looks. So now I'm going to put the leaves on, and I like to have one set of leaves actually together. So I find myself a gap where I want them to go, and then I put some more glue at the back there. And then put one into the glue and then the other one, making sure that I'm still putting them up the right way. Okay. There we go, that will dry. And then I'm going to put the others at random places on the way round. Just a little bit of glue in there, that'll hold it. Another little bit in there. And then finally, you could use more leaves, less leaves, whatever you think looks good. But this is what I like. I was going to say, I've lost a leaf there, where's it gone? So just give that a bit to dry. So there's my flower, and just one little bit for my little yellows. Put a tad on the back there, and then pop that into the centre. Give it a bit of a push, just long enough for it to grab, and that is one really, really beautiful flower. Okay, and now I'm going to adhere it to my bottle, making sure I've still got the back. That's it, that's the back. And I'm going to use, in fact I'll put the glue on the back here. Which way do I want this to go? I think like this. And there we go. I'm going to give that a chance to dry, and then I will come back and, as I say, I'll pick all these little bits off. But what do you think about that? Lovely? It's a beautiful, beautiful project to do, and I'm sure anybody would love to receive that as a gift. Anyway, many thanks for watching my video today. If you have any questions, please contact me. As always, I will be happy to help you. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button at the top right hand side of the screen, or it may be underneath the screen, depends what you're watching the video on. If you'd like to buy any of the products that I featured here, please click on the 24/7 link that is showing on the screen, and that'll take you straight to my shop. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.